What's up everyone? Real quick before we start this episode, we are doing a Patreon meetup in the Bahamas on the 27th of June and we still have a few spots available, so we're going to open it up to you guys. A catamaran company called Exquisite Yachts have invited us to their resort in Freeport for a long weekend of just sailing and hanging out. Exquisite have already paid for a private flight from Fort Lauderdale to Freeport, so we got a few more spots to cover that expense. If you are interested in hanging out with us, you can go over to our Patreon page, just Sailing Parlay Revival, and you can see all the details there. I'll leave a link in the description below. Phew! Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Parlay Revival. So we've finished the 5-week yard period here in Cebu in the Philippines, and I've somehow managed to spend over 30,000 US dollars. This has come as a pretty big shock because I had to pay for almost everything in cash, so I lost track of exactly how much money was going out the door. Anyway, we'll break it all down for you soon, but for now, let's get ready to do some sailing again. We have also got a few Patreons on board who we'll introduce to you, but let's get everything back on board and set sail towards the beautiful Palawan Islands, which is many people's highlight of all of Southeast Asia.
Bye, Vicky. Thank you for everything.
Made it. Missing Vicky and Ahmad already.
Bye. Bye, guys.
Bye.
We're going.
We're going on a holiday.
You guys excited?
Yes, very.
We were heading out of the marina when all of a sudden I realized I had my friend's car keys still in my pocket.
Ahmad, come down, I have the car key. You gotta get closer. We got so much done in 5 weeks actually. All our workers were just on the dock there seeing us off. Boys are back on the boat. Been at the Airbnb for 5 weeks. Good to be home, boys. So in the last 5 weeks we've got a lot of jobs done, and I just did a quick count up. I've spent over 30,000 US dollars. And all of the surrounds and everything are new, so we've got a lot to show for it. But I'm gonna break down exactly what I spent that $30,000 on, because even for me it was pretty shocking. How it added up to $30,000 was pretty surprising. So yeah, we'll go through that today. We left at 5:30 this morning because we've got 50 miles to go to a place called Kalangaman, and that is right next to a place called Malapascua where we're going to go diving with thresher sharks and hopefully see a tiger shark. We don't want to be anchoring in the dark at a new place, so off we go. 5:30 a.m. Kalangaman. Let's go. So if you're wondering who all the new people on the boat are, this is Alicia. We filmed the season of Below Deck together. Season 4, and now she's joining the crew.
Excited to finally be on Parlay.
Yes, yeah, so excited to be on Parlay. It's such a cool vibe, good boat, chill. We're just making a couple of salads to go with this pork that we had a whole spit roast pig yesterday. So we've got so much leftover pork and some delicious fish, grouper. Yeah, so can't help myself. I'm just hanging out in the galley.
What are you looking forward to the most on this trip?
Really just like some peace, I think, you know, to get away from the hustle of life and be on the ocean with you guys and enjoying, loving it.
About to see the world in action, what we can be, life with no distractions, we'll get away, this is what we waited for.
If you're a top tier Patreon, you automatically guaranteed a week on Parlay after a year. So we're honouring that with Mark and Lamika. But we've actually met them before in LA at one of our other meetups as well. So just super lovely people. So it's just a pleasure to have them here.
You excited to be on Parlay?
Yeah, it's extremely. This is a dream come true. Definitely a bucket out of the list thing that we wanted to do. Very grateful for Colin and you guys having us on.
And then Dave, he's one of our patrons from New Zealand, and he lent us his ute for like 5 weeks or something like that. When we left, we returned the truck, and I said, I'll never forget what you've done. Within a year, I'm gonna get you sailing on Parlay. He was like, oh bullshit, you'll never get me on. I said, shake my hand. I said, I'm a man of my word. I'll shake your hand, and within a year, you'll be sailing with us. And he shook my hand and goes, okay. It's been just under a year, and he's now sailing to Palawan with us. A handshake is as good as a written contract in my eyes.
Did you think you would be here
Not in a
almost a year after you shook hands with Colin?
Not in a million years, yeah.
He didn't believe me, did he?
No, I said 1 week's notice and next minute I'm here.
What are you doing? It's for the dogs.
We're not using it. Someone had to go.
Are you serious?
Here we go. Look at this. Smelling it. Here he goes.
So we've been motoring for like all day, and neither of the dogs have used their toilet yet. So I just did the right thing as a dedicated father, and just peed on the mat. McFly actually just walked out there now, so that was a good start. He went on it.
I think they're going to use it. And McFly's a bit nervous of like the water and everything. So when he just walked out there, he's like, "We're."
Also, there's a big squall here, so it might be the first time that we get to test the whole enclosure awning setup that we got going on.
Oh, I felt a drop.
Oh, it is. It's starting to rain. We can just do port side because the wind's coming from here. I don't think we need to put this side down, but we'll see if that side gets raining.
Yeah.
There we go.
It's also like instantly hotter. Is it?
Yeah. So this one here we've designed to just unrolls, unfolds, and then zips up, and then hopefully this whole area here stays dry. And then here we've got the awning out the front, so maybe we can keep those hatches open and keep the air ventilating through here.
This is a good test.
It's working. Look, it's completely dry here.
I don't think any of us have been this excited for rain before.
And it worked a treat. This is an absolute game changer. We would normally be soaking wet at this point, so it was such a weird feeling being completely protected from the elements. The rain soon passed and we eventually made it to our destination, where we'd rest for the night before heading to the famous Malapascua Island in the morning.
The island is right there and it's still 220 feet here. It's just like this big drop off.
We made it to Kalangaman.
How many times did you practice that word?
Kalangaman, Kalangaman, Kalangaman.
Great journey. We made it early.
Yeah.
Yeah, really, really nice.
Now what should we do?
We should jump in the water.
Good boy, Linda. Good boy. Now you can smell my pee.
Oh, Lindo, go on the mat. On the mat. No. No. Lindo, on the mat. Come here, good boy. Oh no.
Well, it wasn't exactly on the mat, but at least he wasn't holding it in anymore.
No.
Anyway, the island was absolute paradise, so the crew went to shore for a taste of their first Filipino island.
It's so beautiful. Paradise.
Paradise.
That island over there, like, are you serious? Hello. Just doing some vlogging. Yeah, we just arrived at this beautiful island. We're living the dream. Look at this ocean. It is ridiculously clear. We're gonna go explore the island and see what's here.
Back at the boat, I took the dogs for a paddle for a bit of bonding time.
How's the paddleboard?
Perfect.
I was still trying to get them comfortable walking on their toilet and was having mixed results.
Boy. Good, he went by himself.
Now he's not scared of it.
Yeah. All right, that's it. We're headed to Malapascua. We're gonna go dive with some thresher sharks.
So we picked up the anchor and started the short 12-mile trip over to Malapascua Island. I don't know when the next time we would be able to get fuel was, and we still had a long way to go to get to Puerto Princesa, so I'm always grateful when the wind cooperates and we get to sail.
So how on earth did I manage to spend over 30,000 US dollars in 5 weeks? Well, I've written it all down here. Lucky I got that below deck money stashed away because it comes in handy for times like this. So the first thing is the cushions. and all of the little bits and pieces for it, buttons and Velcro and stuff, came to $1,500 plus $600 to get it to Philippines. So that's all of the outdoor cushions cost $2,900 US. The next and biggest job was the clears, so the full enclosure for the hardtop. Labor came to $1,200. All of the hardware added up, all of the bolt rope tracks, all the little clips, webbing, zips, all of that stuff ended up being $1,200. So the total for the enclosure was $4,000. You remember that I got a quote in Florida for $13,000, and we're super happy with it. It's exactly how we designed it, and it turned out exactly how we wanted it. And then we got the awning in front of these windows right here. That's going to allow us to keep those hatches open the whole time. That was $250. The new awning for the sunbed area, that was $300. The aircon project, that was $2,500, including all the little bits of ducting and everything that we needed. Sailbag logo, that was $300. A little bit of stainless steel welding, like the handles up there, that was only $100. So labor is really cheap in the Philippines. The non-skid on the bow area, that was $200. I wish I had never spent. That didn't turn out very good. They weren't able to match the color. He was a little overconfident, that guy. Winch repair, that was $200, and seals and getting the shaft machine. Paint for all the bilges. All the bilges are now painted, which is awesome. That was Armand did that job. He was good. He would start before us and finish after us every day. The dog toilet project, they're officially using it now. They both took a number 2 on that mat. Good boy. That was $300 of molding and materials, because we did a lot of that work ourselves. We've got a lightning protection system coming. We're just finalizing the installation method, but to buy the cable that goes from the top of the mast down to a plate in the hull, that was another $400 that I spent. New MacBook. Brit's MacBook was finally starting to struggle a little bit with the amount of editing and footage that we have. That was $3,570 for a new MacBook Pro. Dockage. There's a lot of the old you get what you pay for scenarios here. We could have gone up to Carmen and it'd be like a third of that price, but you're an hour away from all of the chandleries and hardware stores and stuff like that. We chose to pay a little bit more, be right in amongst all the action, and I think that worked out well, but it was $1,000. This is all US dollars, remember. Living here cost us $2,000 because we needed an Airbnb that was going to have a backyard for the dogs and enough rooms for all of us, and that ended up costing $2,000 US. Scooter rentals, that added up to $500. You need scooters to get around. Food came to $1,800, which is really cheap for 3 people for like 5 or 6 weeks. Okay, labor, that ended up costing me $1,000, which is way more than they were actually asking, but they were so good that I didn't have a problem with paying that much. And then when we left, I gave them an extra month's salary each because neither of them have a job to go to, and they need it so much more. Vicky's got 3 kids and Armand has 4 kids. They're messaging like so much gratitude for that, and it feels good. Well, that was $400. Jamie's labor was amount. Diesel, we filled up 400 liters, that was $400. Petrol, that was 200 liters, $200. I spent $2,000 on Amazon, which was toilet spares, battery chargers, this new blender, shipped to the Philippines using a company called Johnny Air. So they receive everything in New York or one of their other destinations, and they consolidate it and ship it to the Philippines, and they get it in tax-free because it's just small bits and pieces like this blender and stuff. But it's $7 a pound. Bought new paddle boards and like some stuff for the barbecue, outdoor barbecue area. That was $1,000. Then finally, to say thank you to everyone that was involved, we had that leaving party that you just saw. The pig and the beer, the keg, all of that, sushi, that all came to $450. But to do that for our workers and everyone that was sort of contractors, and to hear them all say we've never ever done anything like this before, never been invited on a boat, never been sailing, never been on a jet ski. It was, again, just a nice thing to do. So that came to $30,560. And that is all boat related stuff. Outside of the boat stuff, we've also got YouTube stuff. So that's not including that. We've done a $2,500 shop for these next 2 weeks for all 7 people here. I didn't include that. I went to the dentist, got my tooth removed.
Okay, stop. Yeah.
Didn't include that, so that 30,000 was strictly everything to do with this boat for that 5-week period. So it can be shocking how much you can spend so quickly on a boat when you add it all up. Even I was like, holy crap, that is a lot of money. So that's the reality of boat life. The next time I'm gonna have to spend a lot of money will probably be when we haul out before we go across the Indian Ocean.
Do you feel like these kind of costs sort of equate to having a home on land?
No, it's way more expensive than a home. Buy a house if you want to save money. A boat's like this hole in the water that you just throw thousands into. No, it's serious. The reason I wanted to share this with you is to highlight the fact that this lifestyle isn't necessarily cheap. I have met people sailing around the world for $1,000 a month, but they're literally eating rice and beans and their boat looks like it's about to end up as a shipwreck somewhere. Yeah, so from now on, because we've done this refit, it's just your day-to-day regular maintenance. We invite crew onto the boat. They pay $80 a day. That's for food, accommodation, diesel, petrol, you know, those paddle boards. All of these things cost money, and we think $80 a day is more than fair. We've been to places where people can't even backpack with that amount of money. And so that $80 a day just offsets some of the expenses. So yeah, this has ended up being a lot of talk about money. I hope you're finding it interesting. We try to be honest about everything. The main thing that the YouTube revenue and everything does give us is this lifestyle, and for that we are extremely grateful, especially our Patreons, because this literally wouldn't be possible without the Patreons. We would not be able to afford to do this just on YouTube revenue. Absolutely not. So the patrons help us be able to get the $3,600 laptop, and I just bought a $5,000 camera that I didn't even tell you guys about. It's sitting downstairs in case this one here breaks, so that we can, you know, seamlessly create these videos for all of you guys. And we haven't missed an episode for like 3.5 years, coming up to 4 years. We haven't missed a single Sunday. That's how seriously we take it, and that's how much we enjoy doing it. And also, that's how dedicated we feel to producing this kind of content. Let's go diving. We're here in Malapascua, and a company called Devotion, that's a cool name, isn't it? Devotion is taking us to find some thresher sharks. I won't say anything else. Let's just go see them.
Hello.
This is the gang.
Hi.
Jamie, nice to meet
Marcus, hello.
Hi.
This is literally one of our super peak moments during the year. There's going to be a lot of people out there, but he's scheduled you for 5:15, so you'll be one of the first boats heading in that direction.
We have to laugh. We've ended up coming at some sort of Chinese holiday this weekend. Devotion. Marcus thinks that there could be 25 boats out there with 12 to 20 people each on them. So this is going to be an absolute spectacle. Perfect timing.
I don't know why. I really want to see a tiger shark. I don't want to see one spearfishing. I'd rather see it diving. So hopefully it's today.
Jamie's the first out of the water whenever there's a shark, so this is an interesting revelation.
So with our pizza leftovers packed from the night before, we headed out to the dive spot on a local bunker, as they are called, which are boats with outriggers on them. Our dive guide gave us a quick briefing.
This is only about 10 to 12 meters deep.
And then we all wasted no time and hopped in right over a shallow reef. And within seconds, we had our first encounter with a thresher shark, and I have never seen anything like it in my entire life. it wasn't just one, there were up to 10 of them swimming around us, making use of this cleaning station where they get a quick scrub in the mornings before they disappear for the rest of the day. They had these long majestic tails and a tiny little mouth and a huge friendly looking eye on them that you could feel staring right back at you as they cruised past, pretty much undeterred by us divers. And there were probably 200 of us down there at one point. It was a spectacle, alright, and I'm not sure if I'll ever dive with that many people again in my life, so even that alone was a unique experience.
Wow, what an amazing experience that was. This is one of the only places that you can dive with thresher sharks like that, and there wasn't just one or two, there was like 10 of them. So curious coming up. It was just an incredible animal, and their tail is so long because they hunt sardines. They'll go up to a big bait ball of sardines, go up and literally use their tail to obliterate a sardine, and then they just eat the scraps. That's why their mouth is so small. All of the tourism is based around those sharks because it's such a unique experience. So I hope they hang around for years, decades, centuries. We dove with a company called Devotion, and they were amazing. I'm sure they're all amazing, but we had a really good time with them. So if you want a good recommendation, go with those guys. Marcus and Ricky and Jesus and the gang, awesome guys. Now we're going to head to Coron, which is meant to be one of the highlights of the Philippines. Dave over here, he's developed gout in his foot. So he's been hobbling around. It's allegedly one of the most painful things ever. He says it's like having shards of glass in the joint of his toe. So we're making sure he just drinks lots of water. He's never in his entire life tasted coffee, and I was googling that coffee is one of the things that can help get rid of uric acid, because it's a build-up of uric acid that's causing the pain. So he said he was keen to try a coffee for the first time in his life. He has no idea what it tastes like. So maybe this morning's the morning.
Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you at the same time next Sunday.
This is up there with one of the coolest places we've ever, called Parlay. This is unreal. It's tied stern to these limestone rocks. Wow.